What up, y'all? So let's finally get into a new topic on this gigantic series. Let's talk about reward sourcing. So reward sourcing is something that I don't think is talked about as much as it should be. Um, it is a pretty common thing once it comes to, funny enough, the game that you see on screen. And let's talk about how I'm doing this video as basically an intro and slightly different from normal compared to how you've seen videos so far. Normally you see me on the game and then I kind of yap at you. This is going to be one of many videos where in this series I am going to yap at you over actually looking at footage. So with that being the case, and it's not my footage, let me first give the shout outs to everyone I need to, which is the whole entire Climax of Night team. Shinobi, Kraken, Kara, Bates, 645, HBHollaback, Himecut, FunkyP, all of them. Worked with them for years, been doing a whole bunch of stuff. So shout out to the whole Climax of Night team. Shout out to Sikanto and Dogysamich holding down on commentary here, on top of like people that normally run Melty, like Enpicie, Gaku, who like I can't give enough shout outs. I literally cannot, just because of everything that the current code community's been doing. On top of that, even the Japan side, once you consider like Raku-chan, Yume, Uncle Akkey, and then there's one other person that I'm forgetting. I'm sorry that I can't think of your name off top, but I'm pretty sure they're the streamer for Port Yagato 48. I just can't think of their name off top. We're holding it down for current code. So once it comes to reward sourcing, I think current code is the perfect game to start the section off with for an intro, because of the fact that current code is a lot in neutral and the way that you structure your gameplay around setting yourself up for reward, which is different from fiending for reward. I think a lot of people think of reward in the case of, I get the hit, my reward is hitting you, and then I get to run my game. I don't think the micro doses of reward before that is talked about enough. I also want to give one shout out before I forget to Alps. Alps actually did a video on this, I think 6 months ago or so, in current code. He did it on his own, maybe with JG. I think it's on JG's channel because I actually just don't think Alps has a YouTube. I will probably link that in the description if you want to hear a different perspective about reward sourcing. That is more towards the style of the way I normally do videos. This is going to be a very unique video that will also be one of the longer videos in this series, because of the fact that I feel like in order for me to properly gauge this topic, I need to go over it with footage. The reason why I'm doing it with footage, especially coming after space, is understanding how you can set yourself up before with using space and other concepts in your fighting games to sit there and actually set yourself up so you can get reward later, and not fully capitalizing on that. Like, I'm not hitting you now, and it's like setting yourself up to hit someone later. I think that's a very big part of fighting games and really showcases, specifically in this set, and also in the other set that I might play from Climax of Night F, the most recent one, which would be the first set of Climax of Night F's top 8 with Jin and Moai. In this case, we were watching Scrot and J-Bell. This is one of my favorite sets in Melty history. The reason why is because this is like the perfect set to always remind you what interaction truly feels like, especially once you have that player-to-player like knowledge base. Like Scrot and J-Bell, prior to this, like it's almost impossible for you to never see them playing each other in top 8. It was like very rare that you'd ever see them playing each other in top 8. And I think this set was kind of like the highlight for Climax of Night Moonstrike. So this is 5, where a lot of the interaction really showed on how much they respect each other, but also need to disrespect each other, depending on what the situation calls for. So let's get into this. Commentary is still up in the video. I don't plan on cutting it. So, already out the gate, let's talk about this. So, slightly back too far. This initial, so right from here, this is where we get into space tying into this, and why I'm doing it straight after space. The big thing about Melty is air actions, right? You have a double jump and an air dash. Universally, besides the case of like Alco. Alco is the only case where there's more air movement outside of the standard, just in the basic mechanics, not considering things that your character specifically has. So managing your air options in Melty is a really important thing. Same way it actually is in every fighting game, but Melty is really strict on it in a 4x3 game. Same way like Arcana is really strict on it. Like you knowing how to move in those games matters. So in this case, like they're playing pretty passive neutral and no one's really taking advantage yet until right after this JB attempt. So this JB attempt was to contest the airspace given to J-Bell here. But the problem is it was also from falling. So this 2B attempt that you're seeing right now from Scrot was actually to try to cover the landing, but did not know that Miyako was actually farther back than expected. What happens here is J-Bell immediately capitalizes off of this because jumped over a whiffing normal, and even with the whiff recovery on CV Scion being so fast on 2B for some reason. The thing is, J-Bell gets to capitalize because the only way Scrot's going to get out of not losing advantage here is to hope that J-Bell does not press and does not move forward on it, and /or backs off and just gives up the turn. In this case, Scrot jumps back. And from that jump back, J-Bell immediately sat there and was like, got his reward just in pressure from realizing that's the only place you can go is somewhere back. It's either going to up back or you're going to go back. So just from the spacing point of using space and abusing the way space works, literally already got reward by literally forcing block. Like, already has pressure. Didn't need to get a hit. Force pressure. Because now, even with this, Scrot has to deal with J-Bell. Tried to double jump, got hit. Even though didn't get a full confirm, tried to double jump, got hit. Allowing for J-Bell literally to get some reward off of that outside of just the pressure. This is what we're talking about when it comes to reward sources. Now you're trying to set up the reward. The reward was set up literally based off the fact that it's like understanding there's only one place you can go and it's back. That's the only way you're not going to deal with me after whiffing. So set that up.
Any big hit that he can land. Gotta be careful for the JC. JB's in the air. Well,
it's also crazy to go immediately into another situation. So this part, this is actually pretty standard in Melt. I actually think this should be pretty standard in a lot of games, and I don't see it enough. Where if you had advantage and you have someone that is trying to escape your advantage, your best thing to do, especially if they're above you, even barring characters with gigantic normals for those who play Persona, you staying under them and watching where they're going to move actually does you a lot of benefit. Like in this case, because this was super jump into double jump and now air dash back. There are no more air actions for Scrot here. With that being the case, or at least I'm pretty sure that's being the case, he might do one more air action. I might have forgot if it was just 2 or 1. Now, J-Bell gets to basically just watch Scrot land. Like, literally gets to just look at Scrot and watch Scrot land and then sit there and capitalize off of that. Just because of the fact that he did nothing. Used no air actions, did not chase, did not worry about that. Just wanted to maintain a position on the ground where he could sit there and just see what's happening and survey it, basically. And sit there and survey what's happening and then sit there and decide from there. From this happening, this leads to, oh, okay, well, Scrot's like, the only thing I can do is dive kick. I wasted all the rest of my air actions, right? So I need to get to the ground quickly. So dive kicks and lands basically right in J-Bell's face, but J-Bell neutral jumped just because probably didn't know if the freaking dive kick was going to. That move can be goofy. So with that being the case, neutral jumps and then Scrot's jumping back. So he tried to press on it. Almost actually got it, was just short. That's like literally that's the only reason he didn't get pressure there, was just barely short. Same way, now in the case with that whiffing, Scrot's going to try to defend himself, which is with this JB, but haha, you're still too late. You're still at disadvantage there.
JB's in the air well. Clipping Scrot to start this off. Already to the tune to 4.5. Close to it.
Nice sequence right there, going straight into 2A. Alright, with summon, Akkey has summoned for basic pressure.
Eat.
Protected the dome piece though, so another thing to keep in mind.
Alright, yep.
So really this part, this is another way of setting up reward. So sometimes you actually do not need to pressure your opponent to set up reward. I actually legitimately mean that. Sometimes you leaving the gap on purpose will be the key point for you to set up gaining reward. And you're going to see that several times in just this set. I'm debating if I go to the Jin Moai set just because of the fact that I'll probably send this video more into like the 40-minute territory, and I'm trying to do like 25. We'll see what happens. But with that being the case, like the clone was set up, all this pressure happened, you see EX guards, and Scrot was like, all right, if this is the case, you're cornered still, right? There's only two places you can go. You have to go forward and hit me, or you can go up. With that being the case, setting up all this blocks done, backs off a little bit after the clone. This was actually a read on the initial jump, hoping that J-Bell would actually back off into the corner and air dash back. That is what that air throw attempt was. If it was immediate after the clone, it actually probably would have succeeded. But I think he was trying to literally read the secondary air movement, not the first one. And with that being the case, it whiffed, leading the J-Bell getting position advantage.
Pressing through one more time is J-Bell. It's another big conversion. Only needs one more if you can find it here. Got to be a little careful playing for the win. Put him back
step on the overhead. Won't really get much of a knockdown.
Backs off, try to maintain the space, right? But it's a double-edged sword, and I didn't talk about this enough in the spacing video. So the thing about space and maintaining it is that you also have to keep in mind that if you press your space too much, right? Like, instead of maintaining it and you start pressing it to sit there and gain more and make your opponent aware, you have to also keep in mind that if you're not immediately on top of your opponent already fully pressing the fact that you have the corner position in that space and it's your offense and your turn, you do have to keep in mind that as long as they have air actions and / other types of movement, that they have the ability to also move and they have the ability to also press space. So in the case of this, Scrot was backing off to sit there and maintain the space, right? But that also opened up the door that in Scrot's case for pressing here, now gave J-Bell a turn because now he literally jumped up, whiffed, and then had to immediately back off himself. And it'd be one thing if it led to nothing, but it's like also with the backdash, it's like now J-Bell can just straight up press, which is what that EX guard is. Like straight up press, Scrot tried to super jump forward and block, ends up getting EX guard, and funny case that you're actually still negative there, especially with other air actions being available with J-Bell. So there is no real contesting this. So that was like a very unique case where even from the defender's side, a ward was set up based off of using space, but not his own space, but also the space of his opponent being misused. Double-edged sword. Everything in a fighting game can be a double-edged sword depending on how it's used.
Air throw, and we have max mode, so we can spend this on some stuff. Lockdown. Here comes the mix. Nice.
Heck, and look. So first, let's explain the standard of most fighting games. Usually in a lot of modern fighting games, I can't say that for all of them, but a lot of modern fighting games, if you are being thrown and you tech the throw, you are usually plus. In the case of Melty, I don't remember if it's actually neutral or negative. I'm pretty sure it's neutral, if not barely plus, like +1 maybe at most. With that being the case, that doesn't stop the person who initially thrown, if you tech it, from pressing you, especially in the case where you're about to jump out. So that's what Scrot takes advantage of here, is the fact that it's like the throw is teched, and it's like you're only going to go up. Like, where else are you going to go? So you have to come forward and contest me, or you're going to go up. So immediately super jump forward into JA to press the space, sit there, and try to force J-Bell back to the ground, back into the space. So now he walks back just a shimmy because the only way J-Bell's going to go after that initial jump in is back. So now he walks back just so he can sit there and make sure he maintains his spacing and pressure for that landing. Like, all of this is literally just using spacing just to set up the position to be in a roll. And that's why I'm like, this is a very unique take where it's like, it's not just hitting you. There are ways to set up a reward that is not just hitting. A lot of cases, just getting pressure actually is genuine reward.
Alright, J-Bell needs just a little bit more meter so he can heal himself back. He's going to spend it here for an overhead.
Looking to see if there's any kind of response. Nothing doing, so let's go in.
Also, sorry for this. I forgot what happened, but I think the capture card was bugging out for a little bit until they switched cards at some point. I forgot what happened during this. I think it was only this match and one other match that happened, but like it was fixed quickly. I really just don't remember what happened, but it's like whatever, dog. Streaming's a blow up. They know what they're doing. They're on top of it.
Really good stuff right there. A lot of the times in certain trades, you'll see like people kind of like want to jump.
Set up, back off, press too much.
Vician has a good dash 5A and a really good 5B. Couple that with like having 0 acceleration and she's insanely fast.
All right, perfect other reward set up. Also abusing space.
And a really good 5B.
Jump in has pressure. So again, this is a case where the only way you can go is forward or up, right? So with Arc Summon, this reads that jump. This was a complete read on the movement of where you can go because it's literally you're gonna go forward or you're gonna go up. Like I'm pretty sure I doesn't capitalize on this. I like literally like misses the actual confirm. It's whatever, but like this is just setting up based off of the fact that it's like, hey, where else are you gonna go? Once I play HBHollaback on, I also do this a lot too because of the fact that it's literally just like the standard. It's like, well, if you're gonna go somewhere, where else are you gonna go? You have to come in, you have to come to me, or you have to sit there and get away.
There's another scoop.
All right, this one once again going to Akkey summon. Nice 5B, just being that throw attempt with no pickup. Woo! Patience. Oh, misses it just barely,
but he's still okay.
Throw attempt with no pickup.
Using your drops to set up your offense. This is a very unique. So. This is going to be a kind of Melty specific because this is, or character specific, but stuff like this is also something I think people need to. Even if you mess up, there are ways for you to recover. You do not need to sit there and stress too much about messing up. It's going to happen. You are human, or at least for the most part, most of the people I know that are probably watching this video is human. We don't know about the AI. The AI that's just snooping on videos for content and just trying to get my voice because that's the world we live in now, and / or a superhuman dog. We don't know what's happening right now. But that being besides the point, like even with the confirmed dropping here from JBL, because it's literally 2-2C was too far to sit there and connect the first hit, meaning it dropped. He immediately jumped to sit there and try to maintain his offense based off of that. Like knowing that his jump cancelable. Like immediately was like, all right, I need to sit there and either maintain my offense or I need to sit there and back off. I think Scrot was also expecting it to hit and not knowing the range of it because the range of it's kind of misleading. There's like a gigantic range where the first hit hits and there's also a range where it doesn't, where it's like it's way larger than you think it is. So I think Scrot was expecting it to hit and was expecting to get comboed here and it was like, oh, wait, I blocked that. So he blocked it, and then wasn't expecting J-Bell to just, like, literally just jump drift forward with the JC here.
Oh, misses it just barely.
But he's still okay. For the time being, ran into a straight 2A, gonna get shoved back into the corner.
Oh, he put it behind him. Be careful. Yep, that was Satsuki. All right, J-Bell needs a lot of red right now, but not enough meter. So
also, in Miyako's case, having a 360-degree button is, like, kind of crazy.
Right there, has the time for the delayed stop, or the B stop, that is, so... sees it very well and been able to get out, but J-Bell only getting his mitts on the Scrot in the corner. This is going to be huge.
All right, nice, another throw right now. I'm expecting a third one because Scrot's almost in max mode and throws lockout bursting, but J-Bell also can get his health back. So now he gets a life lead. 8 seconds on the clock, and J-Bell beats it. Nice work.
Fooled us both, huh?
Yep. I like that there. It kind of made sense. Time's running out. You're low in health. Last-ditch effort, sometimes they just come right out.
All right, Melty specific things one more time. So, remember all that stuff about air movement? That really plays out here. It's hard to see in this screen. I'm going to call it back from like here. So, keep in mind, universally, you really only have the 3 air movement options. There are technically other choices that are not character specific. You have air dodge, which will correct your direction. Very important here, but I'll get to in a second. And a lot of cases, characters have some type of dive kick, projectile, or something else in the air. Something to stall. CV Scion doesn't. She doesn't have her air claw move, to my knowledge, that H does. With that being the case, Without air dodge here, you using all your air movement in the beginning, even pre-round, can cost you. And this is something J-Bell paid attention to. Because the big thing in Melty is that you do not have your character like change the way they're facing without using movement. You will commit to the direction. You have to use some type of movement with a cancel or something to sit there and change your like actual facing direction. And this was abused here because after this, after all this, so Scrot literally did super jump, air dash, which is what this is, like these two lines that you barely see. These two lines here is an air dash, and then immediately canceled from that into a double jump. Every single air option was used there. In the case of J-Bell, J-Bell only used the one. So J-Bell gets to sit there and from, I don't think he drifted, but basically from the positioning of that, because he was moving forward momentum, came under Scrot. Scrot can do nothing about it because Scrot literally has no air actions, no way to save himself at all, outside of maybe attempting to use dive kick. Which I think that's actually what he got counter hit for, doing very late. So J-Bell positioned himself behind V-Sion because V-Sion literally cannot autocorrect at this point. And forced to counter hit because of the fact that there was literally nothing that Scrot could do.
Well, J-Bell saw through it, got the first round, and like you said, it's a big starter for game 2.
Also, Miyako damage.
Ooh, where you going, LED? And still pressing forward is J-Bell. Got tagged in the trade, but is the one coming out pretty good. 3.6, making sure Scrot doesn't move.
I like the two Bs he's starting to do after stomps to see if Scrot dashes forward.
Making sure Scrot
Air block string setups. So this is going to be pretty layered, and it's going to kind of go into pressure. I will have a pressure section because there's a lot of things I can talk about for pressure con. But this was a very unique scenario. Knowing how to use your air strings to benefit you. So in this case, especially the big thing, I think Sick explains it later, and it's probably better than the way I'm going to explain it. But basically, if you air block in Melty, you're usually always at disadvantage. That's not fully the case, and also I'm good at pausing on the screen splits in Melty. Didn't notice the hat thing kind of distracted me. The thing is with that is that in a case like this where you set up air block in Melty and potentially in other games too, you now have forced them to use other air actions to get away from you. Like in this case, it's like you have to burn another air action because of the fact that if you land, it's my turn. Which is what would have happened if he just sat there and dealt with the fact that he blocked Scrot. He would have just been Scrot's turn, no problem. But from using the other air actions now, Scrot gets to sit there and land first and now survey. So the thing that happened at round start, it's Scrot's turn now. And that's how this leaned into this 5B counter hit, because what were you going to do? Like, you had no choice because you had to use movement, and it's either you're going to completely back off and defend yourself, or you're going to sit there and try to maintain the space and defend yourself. And this led to this 5B counter hit, because you got jailed, and then you tried to press, and you had nothing to press on.
Scrot dashes forward, but really good 5B right here. If he can get a nice knockdown, Scrot will really heat his health back. Oh,
don't need a knockdown for it. Leaving it out in the wild.
Oh, command grab. That heals.
Scrot quickly bringing this game.
Checking the jump out, but actually managed to block it. Whiffed the jump in.
This will be an IH, and he'll also 63C to kill. Oh, he doesn't even need it.
Doesn't even need it, yeah.
There we go. J-Bell restarting with 100 meter. Different moons get their meter back in different ways. This is why C-Moon is also kind of cranked. Whenever they run on their max mode, you still get 2 bars. F-Moon always gets 1 bar. Which makes sense as an equalizer, considering what IH can do, but it's still kind of crazy when you compare them in a vacuum.
They wanted to keep the classic out there. Wanted to give people the incentive for it.
Alright, Akkey is summoned. We're doing Satsuki for an overhead. Yep. This is going to kill. Very good stuff to Scrot right here. Getting those knockdowns is so important for VCon, but when Miyako gets a hit on
Alright, back to positioning things, so that was kind of a slugfest round.
Keep the game going. On you, take like
using positioning to make yourself safe, and keeping yourself safe is also a reward. So, this was more air movement to abuse it than anything else. But like in this case, Scrot was overcommitting to the anti-air because Scrot's underneath J-Bell here, literally expecting like eventually it's like, all right, you have to sit there and come down. Don't know how, but you have to come down. So was literally trying to sit there and check too much. Was expecting, okay, if you sit there and if you fall straight down, I anti-air you here, right? Then it's like if you land, which is also being expected, I'll 2B you. Well, that ended up with it's like, all right, I kept my air movement, so let me actually just get out of the way. And getting out of the way is also a term of reward. Like that is a type of reward. It's a term, but type of reward. Where it's like you have to also keep in mind you are playing a constant game of risk reward. And sometimes the least risky thing and the best reward you can do is actually just getting out of the situation. And that was kind of how this worked, where it ended up being in J-Bell's favor. And now J-Bell has the pressure until then because of the fact that he just got out of the way.
Yeah, Scott's been pretty consistent for shooting that gap and jumping through it for the most time. Now he doesn't want to stand and deal with it anymore. Just trying to tell J-Bell no go.
We have now led our way into the gaps. And this is where I was talking about something earlier where keeping gaps intentionally can lead to reward. So a big thing about this pressure sequence and everything that happens is that sometimes you can leave yourself space in pressure deliberately and just not press buttons on your opponent. Just don't actually pressure them. Just to sit there and see what they'll do if they are given the opportunity. And so what happens here is Scrot's using a whole bunch of low commitment block strings, but they have enough block stun to sit there and create scenarios where Scrot can actually check jump. So this is like a very unique case of setting up trip guards for yourself. Where it's like, all this is just like, oh, staggered the trip guard. Oh, you thought you could jump there? Oh, staggered the trip guard. Oh, wait, one more. Why are you trying to jump? Exactly, just like Six said, leaving it open just so you can sweep. Like stuff like that can cater to yourself, also leading to reward. This does not kill. It's gonna be short. I don't watch this set enough, really. Like I come to it like maybe once a year. There's like a whole bunch of sets I go back to, but I think I come back to this one like maybe once a year, and this is one of the good ones. For the set that I'll go into about adapting, that will also be a very unique set. And I can say I come back to that set a lot. I think I said it in the intro, but it's a video I've already done for a video technically before, but I haven't done it publicly, so I finally will publicly do that video.
Alright, throw into the kick. Drops his combo. Kicks right here is going to be...
Tried to check a jump out. No jump out actually happened.
Right now, because J-Bell's been calling his jump attempt so many times that now he just doesn't want to jump.
Right. And,
yep.
And the thing in that is...
And that's conditioning.
That now he just doesn't want to jump.
Right.
Like, you can prevent someone from doing something because of the fact that you call them out for it too much. Same way, you can also be stubborn, where even if you call me out for it forever, you still go for it. I will get into it once I get into the conditioning section. I will inevitably have to have that too. But I'm going to say specifically, I hate a specific term that has been modernized, which is still just meaning conditioning. It's just said stupid. This is not me throwing shade for people who use it, but this is just my perspective on it. And understanding there are many ways to condition. And showcased in this set for this moment is one of them. Where you get caught jumping so much that you just like now it's like you just don't want to jump because of the fact that it's like you literally kept getting caught for it. So it's like, all right, you're trying to think about what's my new option. I can't jump.
Pressure right now because J-Bell's been calling his jump attempt so many times that now he just doesn't want to jump.
Right. And the thing in that is in the beginning of that sequence.
Now I don't know about the risky shield. I don't know if that was supposed to be a throw and it ended up not being, but it sucks.
But in round 2, here is J-Bell with a big start.
All right, just gonna casually
4.9.
Yeah. No meter involved.
Miyako.
He tried to wait to see a response for his shield or anything, but Scott just waited for the 5-8. Very good, Scout, but no confirm. Just playing it as patient as they can, but Scott's doing a very good job at
positioning yourself. Hi, your dive kick whiffed. I was too far back. Why did you dive kick? Oh wait, because prior to this, you used way too many air actions. You air teched, you jumped, you double jumped. You only had an air dash left. Well, I guess you have to dive kick. Thank you for giving me pressure. Free pressure.
Doing a very good job at playing outside of J-Bo's range and then also weaving into it. But J-Bo is insane at getting these throws when he wants them. Spinning meter almost in max mode, that's perfectly fine. Baits the DP, this is going to kill.
I feel like, and I might be misremembering at this point, but I want to say J-Bell has had the cue for all of the metered reversals that Scrawl has thrown so far and has been able to hurdle over all of them.
Yeah, it's... Vsion doesn't really have a reversal like that. Like she does, that was a huge JC. It's active for like, what, 8 frames? It's kind of nuts.
Yako damage. All right.
Damage as well, 5.5 and another throw, a little miscue, but J-Bell still looking kind of good, staying in front of Scott, keeping him contained, and held his shield long enough.
This time, he bit. J-Bell almost at max meter right now. He can use this for a mix-up or just to hold it for meter. He waited for the reversal. All right.
For a spark. Good block on a 5C overhead.
He smells it coming. He's waiting for it. Scott almost in max mode. Yeah, OTG for the DP. Blood Heat, he wants it. He wants to get that command grab. No dice. Very
nice
good
contest.
poke out. Misses that.
Nice.
Scott with the rising JB right now.
That was JA, but yeah.
Poke out. Misses that.
JA and the JB. So the JA was to immediately cover the initial rising, which is actually exceeded, and the JB was a follow-up just in case it ended up being a true air combo. Stuff like this can also save you. This is kind of more Melty specific, so it's not too keen, but like stuff where your natural hit confirm also leads to you covering for a case like this. Like this is very rare to actually happen in games, in my opinion, where you trying to do a hit confirm also covers for like other factors of ways you might hit confirm, like this counter hit. But stuff like that does exist, and that does also set up securing your reward. And there are stages to reward sourcing because of the fact that even if you gain the reward, that doesn't mean that you always secure it, which is what has also happened within the set, where it's like position was gamed, but it didn't matter that you gained the position because of the fact that you couldn't capitalize on it. So knowing that there are the steps to that also do exist. And this is one of those few cases where it shows the steps to actually securing your reward.
The rising JB right now. Next hit, death for both of these people. Who's gonna stay in winners? J-Bo staying grounded right now. Oh, missed the 2B. Very good.
I remember how the set ends. It's like a 5B anti. Yep. Once again, the melty positioning thing. Sometimes you don't have to jump if your opponent jumps. Just hover under them. Eventually, they have to come down, right? What a way to die. Like
5B is going to do it. Very good stuff.
all right. We're at 33 minutes into this OBS recording, so I am actually not going to go into the other video, but it probably will either come back up for something else being talked about or not. Like, it is a really good set, Jin versus Moai as well, for that first set of Con F, where it also really goes into understanding certain positioning. And just because I'm jumping into this section does not mean that I'm not going to potentially go back and do more things on space. There's a lot of things I could talk about on space. But the thing is, like, if I overload you on space, then we can never get anywhere farther, even if you can take it at your own time, because again, these are videos you can go and look at. But I think after everything I previously talked about on the basis of understanding space concepts, having this video as a follow-up shows you that having good space piece consideration and understanding how to manage your space does lead to you being able to actually do things. And I think this is what this video should be. And you're not limited to just space doing that. There's a whole bunch of concepts that lead into how you can reward source. But I do think that putting this reward sourcing video here makes the most sense logically for me when understanding it's like what abusing space can do for you. The same way, like, I'm probably going to go from this video straight into adaptation, and I will, shit you not, expect the adaptation video to be longer this one. I'm going to go over like what I consider like one of the best sets that has ever happened in Persona once it comes to that. There's way better sets that people can say on paper, like one that I've shown, like MBM, being literally, hey, You want to see what happens when Shiki and Yamashita play for against each other for the first time and they've never played prior? Type deal. Like, this, the set I'm going to get into in Persona is one of the streamed fun favorites, where it's like, this was just a casual stream on PSN, and it ended up being like the best showcase of what two people who have been playing each other for years can do to play against each other. But with that, I hope this video does you well. I know I talked very uniquely over this instead of the standard, because I definitely was talking over commentators, so I don't know how that pans out, but I did make sure that at least in my OBS settings, I am way louder than the video should have been. I want to also say one more shout out to the Climax team. If I forget your name, again, I'm sorry. It's just that there's too many of you, and I'm also not used to using your handles. I literally call most of the people on the Climax team by their name. On top of, like, because they're all homies. Like, we've all been doing this shit for a while. So once again, shout out to Shinobi, Kraken, Kara, BigBates, 6fortyfive, Hollaback, Himecut, FunkyP, all of them. Shout outs completely. Shout outs to Sikanto and Dogysamich. Even though they weren't in the video, I'll still give a shout out to Gaku, because I'm pretty sure Gaku held it down on commentary for Climax and Night F with Sick for that top 8. Shout out to Enpicie for running most of current code now. Like, Enpicie does a lot for current code on top of like web and the rest who's been holding it down on netplay. But once it comes to offline current code, Enpicie has been like holding that shit the fuck down, and new gen holding it down. Thank God. Thank you, Enpicie, for everything you do. And then my shout outs to Japan. Shout outs once again to Akkey, Raku-chan, Yume, and I'm still, once again, sorry, I just don't know your name off top. I just do not, but I do know that they hold it down over Port Yagato 48, and it's not Yume to my knowledge. It's someone else. So with that, bid adieu to you for this video, because it's a long one. Shout outs to reward sourcing. Let's see where we go from here. Later.